Welcome to Legally Ponzanelli, a podcast dedicated to the real stories behind the legal profession. I'm your host, Stephanie Ponzanelli, a law graduate from the University of Arkansas School of Law. Each week, we will hear from law graduates who share candid conversations, practical advice, and real experiences that show you just how different everyone's journey into the legal profession can be. This episode is sponsored by Belmonte, a skincare and lifestyle brand centered around the reminder to slow down, stay grounded, and be present in the moments that matter most. We also want to thank Kaplan Bar Prep for giving us the opportunity to give away 3 free bar prep courses. If you or someone you know is planning to use Kaplan as their bar prep course, make sure to use our code PASSWITHPONS to save an additional $100 off your course. A special thank you as well to Las Comadres Mail Club for sponsoring this month's guest gifts. Las Comadres Mail Club is a monthly Happy Mail subscription that celebrates Latina pop culture, nostalgia, and creativity. Every envelope feels like an extra cartita from your favorite comadre, filled with stickers, art, and thoughtful surprises. All right, let's dive right in. Can you please introduce yourself?
So my name is Selita Paya. Well, legally it's Selita Paya, but it's still my maiden name. So I haven't changed my name because obviously I haven't been sworn in. So my name on the internet is Selita Paya. And yeah, I graduated from law school in 2025 and am now just an off-duty bar prepper at this point.
Okay, so before we go to law school, tell me where you went to undergrad.
So I actually was a non-traditional law student. I worked right outside of high school for about 7 to 8 years, starting
Wow.
in like a super small boutique like tax law firm, and then eventually when I stopped working to go to go back to school, I was doing docketing in big law. So while I was working, I was taking like 1 or 2 classes a semester at a community college. And then finally I was able to transfer on a scholarship out of community college into University of Missouri, St. Louis. And that's where I ended up graduating. So,
When did you graduate with your bachelor's?
so I started on my bachelor's at around 2000. I want to say like 2015, 16 is when I started
Mm-hmm.
taking like 1 or 2 classes. And
Mm-hmm.
then I graduated eventually from University of Missouri, St. Louis in 2022. So then I ended up going straight through to law school.
Oh, sweet. And where did you go to law school?
I went to law school at Michigan State University College of Law. Go green. They usually say
That's
go
so
white.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Usually it's
that's
like
so
a whole
cute.
crap. It's like a 2-parter I've learned. But
Oh,
yeah, I went
sorry.
to MSU Law. I can say go green and then you say go white. Go
Go
green.
white. Oh, I said it too
Yeah.
late.
No.
I'll get better.
So yeah.
Um, and what made you pick that school?
So my husband's from Michigan. He kind of, went away for law school himself. We met in St. Louis. I know there's a song on that. It's wild. Like he was working at the big law firm that I was doing docketing at. I know. So
What?
he
That's so
yeah,
cute.
he was from Michigan. And so when I was applying for law schools, my family's out in California. His family's out in Florida. So we were kind of trying to find a middle ground. I got waitlisted at a couple schools in Texas, um, and a couple schools in Michigan. Then I ended up getting accepted to Michigan, but I ended up applying to MSU because of like they have a really good um, experiential program. Like they have a good like clinic, they have good, policy, like writing labs. They have like I love the policy writing lab, but they have a bunch of like hands-on type classes at MSU. So that
Hmm.
was kind of the bigger, and they have like a huge immigration presence, which was kind of the driving force of why I applied to the schools I applied to anyway. So yeah. So when I got accepted and a full ride, we were like, I guess we're going to Michigan. We were like, oh my gosh, it was I still can't believe that that's actually what happened. So
That's great. Congrats, a full ride. That's
thank you.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
huge. I got
it
chills.
was wild. Oh. It was
That's
just
so
something that like
great.
I had been working on for like 10 years, or I guess now it'd be 10 years, but at the time it seemed so lofty. So the fact that
Yeah.
it kind of, brought my husband back to his home state, and we just were thrilled. And I just love it here. So
So did he go there too, or did he go to a different law school?
his undergrad is at University of Michigan, and then he went to law school in DC. So he's kind of
Oh,
all over
okay.
the place, and I was kind of all over the place, and now we just love it here in Michigan. So
I have to go back a little bit because I'm so intrigued. So you met at the law firm, and then you guys are like, or did he, and then he like went and to law school, and you were like, oh no, bye, and then because you didn't go to the same
so
ones. How did that work? I want to know that part too.
so when I was working, I think I was there for a year,
Mhm.
and I was like, I thought I was full adult mode. I had not been making that much money ever in my life. I was just like, my version of my bills are paid before like
Yeah,
finishing school. I thought I was like, it was a glamorous, early 20s moment for me. And
yeah.
he had done the opposite where he just went all the way through. So it's like I started there a year before he started, but he started as like his first post law school job. So he basically
Whoa.
started, yeah,
Okay.
he
He was the
started as like a,
attorney. Yeah.
yeah, but not like an attorney. And like I was in foreign docketing and he does US stuff. So there was
Give
no
me.
like overlapping.
That
Thank
is so
goodness.
sweet. That's so funny.
So,
You're like, wait, wait, wait. Sorry, I had to turn the
so it's
fan
like,
on. It's like,
oh, you're fine. I know I'm sweaty. But yeah, no, luckily, like there's no overlapping because this was around like 2017, like around the Me Too
oh,
time.
oh
So we were
no.
just like, we were just friends and there was no power dynamic. Like we were trying to like talk ourselves
Yeah,
through whether or not it was appropriate to hang out outside of work, and it totally was fine. Like we read the policies and everything, but yeah, so he was kind of the first person I told I wanted to go to law school, and he didn't think it was crazy. He thought him and my friend at the time, she was also a lawyer there. They were just super supportive. So it was kind of
oh,
like yeah, why not you go? And I was like, I don't
yeah,
know. I don't look like this guy that's tall with white hair and white skin. And they're like,
yeah.
who cares? Go. So
That's so great. Oh, and that's
yeah.
perfect because when you went, oh, how sweet. I'm so happy. I love that. I met my boyfriend in law school. So I'm like, that's
Oh,
so cool. I love it when you like find them in like unexpected places, you know?
I know. And it's like just good to have someone who understands what you're going through, who understands
Yeah.
what you've gone through, and kind of a lot of
Yeah.
people see the law degree as like a final, event, but they don't see
Yeah.
like the day-to-day struggle and scraping by. So having a partner that
Yeah.
knows how it feels and the ups and downs has been really like a blessing in itself.
I bet because I feel like I glamorize because of the trauma, my law school experience. You know, I was like, ah, it was great. Like my friends are
Was
great.
it bad? Yeah.
It was a bad, it was awful. You know, like I kind of like reminisce a little bit and I'm like, wow, that was kind of terrible. You know, so I think it's hard to explain to people that haven't gone through it, like the amount of trauma it gives you, I guess. Like, I don't know if you feel the
Yeah.
same way.
Oh my gosh, yeah, or, like, even explaining exams, like,
Yeah.
being a not like, going back to school, people kinda knew I was always studying for something or writing a paper or something, even if it was, like, my Com 101 paper or something, they kind of knew that I, like, took it really seriously. So for them, it's like, "Oh, it's just finals. You'll get an A. You'll be fine," or like the LSAT, they're like, "You're totally gonna pass, or you're gonna get an A," and it's like having to explain the LSAT process. The one exam is your entire grade process, like that stuff.
Yeah.
It like kind of doing it over and over. So by the time they understand, it like law school's over. So
And then you go to the bar and then you got to explain that too. So can you give us a little bit of your, what your background is?
yeah, so my background is I majored in mass communication and strategic communication, and I minored in psychology, and like, I think I was like a couple credits shy of ASL. If I didn't go into law, I was going to go into like crisis communication type of like the public facing side, kind of just in hindsight, announcing like really sad, bad news. I thought that that was going to be kind of my end game, and then fell in love with like, just kind of fell in love with like my own hobbies, my own interests. And like I've been also kind of rediscovering myself this whole way because working right out of high school, like you don't get like a fun 20s, my hair's gonna be blue, moment. You kind of have
Yeah.
to like, I went from like acting the way I thought I was supposed to act at church. Like that was my template for like acting appropriate at work, where I was just like trying to find a way like to not show how young I was. So rediscovering and all that and everything, like falling in love with communication and ASL is like, then I wanted to go to crisis communication, but I was like, no, I still really want to go to law school. I might as well just want to try it. I could do that with my JD even, like learn how to do research and stuff like that and be more of like the immigration public facing side. But yeah, so huge communication person. And a lot of people in law school are going to try to knock on it and try to laugh at it. And usually those are the ones that need a COM 101 class themselves. So just saying.
That's so funny. No, I love to ask that because I feel like sometimes people think you have to be a poli sci major to go to law school. I'm like, no, you can go with anything. Unless you're wanting to do like patent law, you better
Exactly.
get a specific thing. But like besides that,
Exactly.
you can I met someone that she was a theater major and went to law school, graduated, and is now an attorney. So it's like it really is
Oh my,
whatever you want. Yeah.
I tell everyone, I'm like, just major in what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. Then you welcome
Mhm.
these challenges, you welcome the exhaustion, you appreciate it in a different way if it's something that you're interested in, and you'll have the GPA for your application. So
Yeah.
don't focus on your GPA. I mean, yeah, focus on your GPA, but like do something that you're going to think is fun because at the end of the day, a lot of people end up falling back into like melding both backgrounds after law school, like even after
Yeah.
like their law firm career and everything, they end up like doing something, artistic or something that's like
Mhm.
compliance or something, so that's what I always tell people.
No, that's great. I think people need to hear it. Are you a first gen?
I am. I am a first
Oh,
gen. I'm a first gen law student, but my mom, she went back to school when I was a kid. So she kind of was like
aw.
my, role model where she was like doing night classes and stuff when my sister and I were young. So she was kind of, and she's an accountant now, or she's a retired accountant now. She's amazing. She's super organized. But at the time, I was like, "Is this what, like, all kids' parents are doing?" Like, I didn't know what to like, even ask, so now it's just like, now she wants to do something else, like, I get that from her, my mom, where she's kind of like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm bored, I think I'm gonna go and learn about" I don't know, I think she's into, like, nutrition, but, like, also trade I don't know, it's like the trades and the stocks and stuff, I'm like, "Good job, mom."
Good
So,
job.
yeah. So she graduated. I'm not a first gen college grad, but I am a first gen law grad for sure. But I'm Tongan. So I'm from the South Pacific Islands. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And both my mom and my dad are Tongan. And
So what was your experience going through law school? Because you said you attended law school a little bit later in life, so you're going in not a K through JD. Do you think that was helpful that you took that time to work in a firm before going?
100%. I do feel like maybe my non-traditional resume is kind of what bolstered my application for MSU because that and my GPA, like, my LSAT was, like, average. It wasn't like I wasn't Einstein, I wasn't like Elle
Yeah.
Woods even. I was just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
does it get any better?" And I think I took it twice, and the second time I did worse, so I just, like, went with my first score, obviously. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I do feel like my class was pretty diverse. So it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah?
like I wasn't the oldest one. I
Mhm.
obviously wasn't the youngest one, but I do feel like in my class specifically, there was like a lot of representation for different ages, different backgrounds, like, like
Oh,
having
great.
a couple kids. Yeah, there was a student org that was like the older, wiser law students. We called them the owls. Like, I wasn't part
That's
of
so
that because I
cute.
was part of literally everything else. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it was like I wasn't the oldest one. I think I was worried about being the oldest one, but
Mhm.
it was interesting. I overcommitted as every, first gen is wont to do. I did way too
Yeah.
much. I feel
Hmm.
like I was always like on the brink of either double booking myself or there's like a couple times I did actually double book myself. So it was kind of like like a no, like why am I doing so much? But yeah, no, I loved it. I loved the school. I felt like it was really welcoming. I mean, yeah, my it was I had my husband as kind of like a reference point. So
Oh, I bet that was
asking,
amazing.
oh my gosh, like he talked me off so many ledges, or, it's kind of like not to compare to high school, but in high school, you think it's the rest of your life. You think you're an adult. You think I am this person. It's not a phase. In law
Hmm.
school, you kind of feel like every single reading, every single assignment is like do or die. Am I going to make
Hmm.
it or not? So I do feel like having that like professional experience as a background helped me with recognizing that, my colleagues at school were also colleagues in the field. So I kind of like
Hmm.
made sure I kept my circle pretty tight, and like my friends
Hmm.
that I was actually friends with or like unwinding with, like, we were the same all 3 years and we're still super close now. So aside
Oh.
from, yeah, aside from like fearing that I was the oldest, I do feel like, yeah, my class is like overall pretty well rounded. It seemed like there's like the oldest one was in his 70s, and then the
Oh,
youngest one
wow.
had like the youngest one turned 21 like within the first semester of law school. Like she was the youngest one in our
Wow.
section, and I think in our whole grade. Yeah. So I was like, can't relate. So
Yeah. I have a question because you don't look a day over like 22. So that's why I'm like, wait, how old are
oh,
you? You're making it sound
I
like older. And I'm like, wait,
I am 35.
what? You look
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah. No, you don't look 35. My friend Sean is the same age and she looks so young. So she would always be like, oh, I'm older. And I'm like, no, you're not. It's just a number?
I love that. Yeah, no, I didn't real like I was worried about standing out. I don't know why. That was like
Yeah.
maybe my one of many insecurities going into 1L is that I
Yeah.
was going to be the oldest one. So I kind of
Yeah.
kept like a lot of my personal like I got married the first month of 1L. I kept all that stuff like fairly private. Like I don't remember I was like gone for a week cuz we got married in California. So I had to like tell my professors that I'd be gone, and I didn't say anything about the wedding. I didn't say anything. I was just like, "Hey, I might not be able to answer a cold call that I get back from from out of town like that
Hmm.
morning. So at class, I might not be all there." And they're like, "Okay, I don't care." They're like, "Use a skip if you want." Like they were like fine with
Yeah.
it, but I didn't want
Yeah.
everyone to be like, "She's so old." And I don't know. In hindsight, it seemed really silly because now it's like I don't know, you find your group of people in law school and
Hmm.
you click. When you click, you click. No, and like none
Yeah.
of the people that are still in my life like actually cared about how old I was. And I think it was like
Yeah.
only a topic of discussion in like a very small mean girl group where it was kind of like a haha, she's older. But then it was usually met with like, is she like, wow, like
Yeah.
it was like weird. Like you're gonna pick up haters no matter what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming I was too much, and I don't know. It was weird. Like just like the
Yeah.
random people that like cared about my age don't really matter. I mean, I just like didn't keep
Yeah.
in touch with them. So yeah. It's like little things that you like realize that stress and sleep deprivation like have transformed these people, either brought out their true colors or like nobody's themselves in lost. It's like Love
Yeah.
Island. When I first watched Love Island
That's
last year,
funny.
I was just like, I need to see what these people are eating and whether or not they're sleeping. Because why is someone crying in Fiji? Like, I was just like, or why is someone crying in like with the ocean in the background? Like, is everything okay? And find out that they were all just sleep deprived. So that was us in law school. Everyone was like on the edge, the brink of tears, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Um, Also, so you mentioned you had your circle. Um, I thankfully found my sweet inner circle. We call each other the law baddies. That's
Oh.
been our group chat since 1L. And I think my favorite thing was like having a group that you could just like rely on, and we would call each other inner circle as well. Like nothing, if we ever said like this is going in inner circle, that meant like no one else can know, just us, which is so dramatic, but like it feels
It's so
so important.
necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you before I want to ask you about like how you met your friends and how that went. And then I also want to know um how many students were in your class, and did they offer a part-time program?
So my friends, my my one really close friend, or we're both like super close, but the first one was literally like during orientation week. At MSU Law, we
Oh.
call it Foundations Week. She just walked up to me and she was like, "Where are you guys going?" And it was me and this other girl that we felt like we don't keep in touch, but we were like. She was like, "Where are you guys going?" I was like, "Oh, we're going to lunch." And she was like, "I'll join you." And we're like, okay. And
Okay.
so then we were talking, like, we literally were just like, sure. So she just walked with us and talked with us. And she was like, are you guys sitting over there? I'll sit with you. She kind of, and come to know, like, find out she's just that type of person. She's like, not one to exclude anyone. She's like super friendly and she's
Mhm.
very like, she's small, but like super mighty. Like she's like super
Aw.
small, but like her food slaps and she always smells really good. Like she's just like, she's in the room, she's very sweet and I love her to death. And then my other best friend, she basically she came up and I introduced myself to a bunch of people. And I think it was the first time in my life that I was like, hey, my name is Selita. And they were like, thank you. And I was like, oh, cool. I was
That
like,
was the response?
yeah, I was like,
Oh my god.
oh, I was like, the
That's
second date.
crazy.
I was
Are
like,
you serious?
oh, yeah, I literally was like, oh, I think it was the third day. It was our business. Like we did a suit day and I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I was like, is that how it's going to go? They literally were just like, thank you. And I was like, no problem. Like, nice to meet you. I think I like finished my spiel anyway. I was just like, nice to meet you. I'm in section 3, blah, 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 blah. And so then I was walking away and then my now like bestie, she was like, hey, my name is Nina. And she was like,
Mhm.
she was like, what's your number? Like, and then she found me on Instagram right then and there. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're into fitness. So am I. Like, she was like trying to find interest right away. And then she ended up hanging out with us. And it slowly was like it was like me, my best friend Daniela, and then like another person. And then it was just me and Daniela and then Nina and another person. So it eventually just kind of turned into just us three. And our one
Mhm.
all group chat was called Bar Review, and it's still called Bar Review.
That's funny.
We were really into unwinding together. So we were the type that like we also found out that we kind of had the same type of unwinding mechanism. Like we'd go get a couple drinks and then like I was married and, my other friend, she got married. She eventually got married. So we had the boys
Oh.
taking care of the tab. Like we were just like, we were living carefree for the first time all semester, for like 3 times a semester when we would have time to meet up and get hammered. Other than that, we would just be like, hey, let's go get dinner and be normal people.
Yeah.
But
No, that's so
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and we've been close friends. Like I'm going to see them in a couple weeks. They basically came and made sure there was like, a sign of life after the bar results. Like they came and they visited me even though my house looked kind of crazy. Like they were just really sweet. They're
Yeah.
very, very sweet people. Yeah. So it's like you see a bunch of people that you're like, oh, I might not see you ever again. And then you find
Yeah.
a couple people that you're just like, wow, these are like gems of humans that I'm just gonna keep forever. So
Yeah.
but our class was we had 3 sections of, like,
Wow.
75 people-ish when we started, but then it eventually we had a bunch of people transfer, a bunch of people drop out, and then eventually our graduating class was 225. Just enough to, like any rollout like it was just enough people to like really get nothing done in the class group chat. It was like,
Mhm, mhm.
I was a class officer, so we were like trying to figure out like class merge. No one would vote on anything. Like I'd have to like text my friends and be like, please go
Please
participate
vote.
in the vote. Like, let's
Yeah.
get, the momentum up. And like all of us, like it was the class president and two class officers, and each of us were in a very different group. So all of us had our like own little group and like student
Mhm,
orgs to like pester and be like, will you please like participate? So
mhm.
yeah, it was a pretty big size. And our part-time program was a part-time JD MBA. So
Mm,
it wasn't
cool.
like a part-time like in the evening. Yeah, it was like people that started with us in 2022, they were part of a 4-year JD MBA program. So it was kind of like part-time JD, part-time MBA, and then they ended up graduating like this year. So
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know they had that.
yeah, yeah.
My
I
school didn't
mean,
even have a part-time program, so that's why I keep asking people because 'cause I'm like, "There's so much going on that I didn't even know."
yeah. I mean, I knew that like a couple schools in St. Louis, I heard of that part-time program, and I was like, "Well, maybe I could work and do
Yeah.
this," I didn't realize it was for, like, literally people who have, like, full-on families and careers going, part-time, like, so I was like, "Okay, maybe that's not suitable for me. I might just need to be in this classroom, like, 24/7."
Yeah. Um, but I love that you found your group of people and your lifelong friends. Also, you mentioned, like, you were kind of nervous because, like, you didn't wanna tell anyone that you were married, and what I think is funny is, like, I am currently the only one in my friend group not married. The rest of them one of them got married 1st year, and I'm like, "How did you do that?" Because how are you balancing law school and a wedding? That's crazy. She was
I
so
would not.
stressed.
Yeah, I got that was, like, Dan and I, we got married in, like, the second it was Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend of 1L. Would
Would
not
not recommend.
recommend. It was so and that was, like that's the only reason why my law school besties weren't invited because, like, I had only known them for, like, at this point, 2.5 weeks, I think, so
Mhm.
I would not recommend a wedding anywhere near law school. My other, bestie, she got married, um 3L year, which is not that
Oh,
bad, but even then, it's like,
still.
she
Yeah.
got it, like, she, like, was planning a wedding around, like, finals, like, I could not. There's no way. I would be so useless, and my wedding planner probably would've been more annoyed with me because I wouldn't have been able to be get a hold of, like, I'd be unavailable.
Yeah. That is so funny. No, my friend ended up, inviting us to her wedding and like you said, had only known us for, like, a few weeks. But she was like, "Hey, do you guys wanna come?" And it was perfect
Oh.
because lifelong best friends after that, but that was such a gamble, like, what if we were terrible and we didn't like each other, you know?
Oh, I
That would've
know.
been
It's
like
like, you never know.
yeah, you really don't. Um, so I love that you have TikTok. Can we talk about that? I'm excited. You have your platform. What made you start it? When did you start it? And tell me all about it.
So, I started it I think the very first thing I recorded with, like, thinking it would go on social media is, like, how you could change, your icons on your MacBook? You could change them to basically whatever, whatever you want.
Mhm.
And I had changed mine into, like, a little icon. It looked like some guy's head was sticking out of flames, like, it was like he was, like, I'm assuming burning up or something. So
Oh,
I
no.
like, my Elsa my LSAT folder had looked like that ever since like, for there was, like I changed my icon to that so it would stand out. And I filmed, like, myself, like, kind of just dragging it and putting it into the trash, like, that was my very first thing. And
Mhm,
I remember looking up I was, like, on TikTok just in, like, a personal capacity, like, trying to I think I was doing, like, inspirational quotes or something, but I was trying to find what people wore. Like, I remember, like, searching, like, what people are wearing to orientation, what people are wearing to class, I was kinda trying to figure out this was, like, fresh out of COVID, so I had, like 24 pairs of yoga pants that I knew I just could not
Mhm.
like live in outside of the house. So I was trying to figure out how to like if that was appropriate, like, and I
Mhm.
couldn't find anything. I couldn't find like a non-traditional like law student out there making a ton of content. There's a couple out there now that like they've blown up. They're not even in law, I don't think. They're kind of, and I remember them like fresh out of law school or in law school, and, like, those were the only couple I could find. I also, like, just could not find anyone that looked remotely like me kind of filming
Yeah.
law school content.
Yeah.
So, I remember, like, just thinking, like, "Well, what if I just, like, you know, shared my own journey and kind of like showed people like, hey, if I could do it, you could do it. Like, it's not
Yeah.
always glamorous and it kind of, you always feel like you're behind and you're always stressed. And I had like stress hives and everything, but it was like, at least like people would see there's other, you know, hopefully people that looked like them, filming.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it would turn into, you know, what it's turned into, which is kind of just like
Yeah.
being a member of this community, like having people, being a subset of an already subset niche of people, having to retake the bar. It's like you kind
Yeah.
of, as this progresses, you kind of find the people that are going through exactly what you're going through. And I just feel
Mhm.
like I don't know, it's been an interesting, ride. I kind of just started just recording random stuff to be like, hey, I'm also like trying to show people that you could be more than your degree, more than your law program. So it's
Yeah.
been a random journey, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I got like embarrassed when people would be like, oh, I saw you on TikTok, or, oh, are you going to film your little TikTok? Like kind
Were
of
they mean
try to,
about it?
they were trying to be, and I was just like, yeah, you're not going to be in it. Or I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, it's fine. Or I'd be like, oh, it's just be real, like kind of like trying to,
Yeah.
and now like one of my law school besties, she's trying to get into content, and I'm just like, girl,
Yeah.
just do it. I'm like, the people who
Yeah.
complain and who say something about it don't even have the profile picture up. Like it's like the people who have the most to say
They're always the
are
one looking at my profile, which I think is crazy.
exactly where you're like, oh, you have
Yeah.
a, yeah, they're gonna be a view. They're always gonna be a view on every
Yeah.
video. It's like the
Yeah.
people who have the most to say about it don't even have the courage to post. So it's
Yeah.
like it's just a way to like kind of be like, hey, and being like the only I know maybe two other Tongan lawyers, like it's or at least Tongan lawyers through JD programs. Like I know one
Mhm.
who went to law school overseas and he has like an LLM, but
Mhm.
those other two lawyers are like my uncles. They're like not they're they were like, my grandma's sister's son. Like they're like these distant relatives that like, and they were way older than me, so I didn't even know how they got through it. So
Yeah.
reaching out to them and trying to like talk to them about certain things has been really helpful, especially since they had no computer. I mean, they're not that young, like they
Yeah.
were doing
Yeah.
everything by hand or doing like
Yeah.
oral exams and stuff like that. So it's been like it's been good to like get my face out there and just kind of be like, hey, you don't have to look like that. You could look like a really curly haired
Be a
brown girl.
girl, like
You could be a
yeah.
girl. You could do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I hate that you got that kind of experience. I feel like in law school, like, I had people that, would want to be in them, but, like, I don't know about you, but I didn't post as much during law school because I was overwhelmed. So, like, when I could or I had the energy, I'd be like, "Oh, this will be fun." And then my friends would always complain. They'd be like, "No." And then but they did that for photos too, and I'd be like, "I wanna capture a moment. I don't wanna forget." And then later on, they're, like, sharing it, putting it on their Insta, and I'm like, "Girl," you
You're
know?
like, I knew
Yeah,
it.
I was like, "Weren't you the one crying that I wanted to take this?"
Yeah,
But,
luckily my besties they've always like been so on board. I'll be like, "Oh, what's your favorite law? What was your favorite class? Or what's your favorite class now? What do you think you'll do the best in?" And then at the end, what was your, best grade and what was your favorite class in the end? Stuff like that. Obviously like my like my besties were like geniuses. They were, like they like just kind of got things like right away. Like it clicked really
Hmm.
fast for them. So even having that was good because then you could
Yeah.
ask them to explain stuff to you, could ask them like how they understood stuff or how they got certain assignments. So I know they've been like such good troopers. And then of course I was like in charge of the TikToks for one of their weddings. So we got a lot
Oh,
of
that's
content, even though
awesome.
even though
That's
like
such a big
she didn't.
deal too.
Yeah, she was really good at it. She literally has like really good. I think she's just like creative without even knowing it. So it's been,
Hmm.
yeah, they've been really supportive. I think some people see it as like embarrassing. I think some people think like
Yeah.
why would you want potential, clients seeing it or potential, law firm
Yeah.
bosses. And for me, it was like, I would talk to them about it. Like, I
Yeah.
do know that it's like changed kind of the scope of my content now, especially since, before, finding out bar results, I was like going to these meetings, meeting the clients, I had a work phone and everything. So I think that's when I started transitioning more towards like either day to day or outfits, kind of trying to
Hmm.
find a happy medium that wouldn't be waiving any confidentiality or wouldn't make people like uncomfortable. So that's like another leg of this whole journey that I'm excited to get into. Like once the
Yeah.
bar is finally over and behind us, like finally.
I want to talk about the bar too. So can you tell me about your experience? When did you take it? What that was like?
So the first time I took the bar was July 2025, and I felt not the best about it. But I guess like for me, it's like it was hard to tell because there's so many conflicting tips out there. Like someone will be like, nobody
Yeah.
knows what they're doing, so you're fine. And then someone will be like, if you think you know what you're doing, then you're doing bad. And then someone was like, if you feel like you did well, you did bad. And then someone will be like,
Oh my
if you
God.
didn't leave, I know it's just like, it's literally the
Jeez.
opposite, like back and forth. So I didn't do the worst. I was literally like, my husband said I was within spitting distance.
Mm.
Don't know what that means, but it was, yeah, it wasn't like, I thought I was going to blow it. Like, I thought it was going to be like, you know, I don't know, 15, 20 points, like, from passing. Like, I thought, like, once I did not see my name on that list or my number, I was just assuming the worst. I
Yeah.
quit smoking since, but I literally had, like, a cig in each hand. I was like, "I'm not on the list. What does this
No.
mean?" I was like, "Am I gonna get fired? Oh my gosh." And, my husband was like, "It's okay. Like, it's all gonna work out. Like, well,
Mhm.
I think he was even like, "Let's go to dinner. We're still gonna go to
Yeah.
dinner. We're still gonna go and like have a good weekend because it came out on Friday. So he was like, we're still
Ugh.
gonna,
Yeah.
let's like plan on how you're gonna say stuff tomorrow, or let's talk about it Sunday. He was like, let's schedule that for Sunday. Right now, let's just try to have a good, evening. And he was really sweet about it because I was spiraling. I thought I was gonna get fired. And luckily my firm is amazing. Like they just don't know why they have like really invested in me. So it
Oh.
was me and like another person. Our hiring class was pretty big this year at the firm. I think it was like 7 or 8 people. So
Oh
there
wow.
was, yeah, it's the biggest that they've like had, I think, like ever, and hopefully the biggest they'll have because that's like ridiculously. I think it's ridiculously big. Like an 8 person hiring class to me is like big law. That seems like a big law move. Like we are
Yeah.
not big law, but anyway.
Oh, okay. I
And it,
assumed you were. I was like, dang,
no,
okay.
very much not. It's like mid-size, but it was me and another, first year. So even like kind of going through that, we had each other. We didn't. It was a shock. Yeah, it was a rude awakening, but
Hmm.
then I basically worked full time and studied until, February. So I had like kind of 3.5 weeks to study full
Yeah.
time. And then I took the February 2026 bar and I only got like 2 points better. So
Oh, I'm
I know
sorry.
I'm like so close. I'm like literally like
Hmm.
within points. So it's to me, it was like it was both good, like happy and sad news. More sad, obviously, but I
Yeah.
was worried again that I was going to be like 20 points off or, like
Yeah. Or not
clearly
have an
miss the mark.
improvement kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought that it was something that was going to be major. So now that I'm
Yeah.
like so close, I'm like within points. It's just kind of like okay, here we go. Like stay
Yeah.
focused, like just trying to stay engaged and like find ways to maximize points, basically.
What are you doing differently this time? And is it UBE still, or did it switch to next gen for you?
So they're phasing in next gen. So off um they took off MEE topics. So now it's like the
Yeah.
MBE topics. The
Mhm.
MBE topics with I think it's like agency, partnership, and corporations and LLCs. And I think that's it. Or that's definitely. I think I should know. Yeah, that's
No, no,
definitely.
you're good, you're good.
So yeah, so they are phasing in next gen. So it's not as many topics. It was like 16 topics in July 2025 in February. And now I think it's down to like 10 or 11. So,
Yeah.
or yeah, they took off a good amount. So this time I'm basically just trying to fill in the gaps. I
Mhm.
have a tutor that I'm meeting with and she's
Mhm.
been super helpful. She's amazing. She's also you know, very straightforward, which I'm glad
Yeah.
because I need
I
because
love that, yeah.
I'm like, "What how do we do this?" I, like, never really knew how to utilize a tutor before, so the
Yeah.
first my July 2025, I did strictly Barbary, and
Mhm.
I was I think I completed, like, 97% of the whole entire thing, like, I was literally, like,
Mhm.
very strict with it, I was, like, trying to, like, track my time, like, just trying to be like,
Yeah.
if I hit 90 if I hit 100, I'm gonna pass. I like really kind of
Yeah.
had that misconception. So, and then but I also did stuff that I thought that people did. Like I was just reading off, note cards. I wasn't like really handwriting anything. So I feel like that's kind of where I should have just listened to myself halfway through the summer. And then
Yeah.
February 2026, I did the opposite where I kind of just wrote everything out over and over and over and try to, really just work on memorizing just through my own handwriting. And then that helped, but in doing so, I think I wasn't paying enough attention to essays. So now it's like my tutor is just strictly for writing. I'm doing the same thing I did for February 2026 for the MBE because I actually improved my MBE score by a lot more than I thought. So
Oh,
that
sweet.
clearly worked. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Like I got better on MPTs and I got better on MBEs, but then I got worse on two MEEs. And then like those
That's
two
annoying.
scores, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's like those two scores and MEEs, like my tutor said were like, if that's like equivalent to like 12 or whatever MBEs, like the way that it equates because of the percentage of your score, which I
Yeah.
know I like fell down a terrible rabbit hole, but I was like, I'm so close. So now I'm kind of just
Yeah.
focusing on essay patterns basically, just trying to find like recognizing patterns. I'm starting to surprise myself on like how many I'm recognizing with MBEs. Like when I saw your video that you got
Mhm.
15 out of 25, I remember that moment. Like, it's
Yeah.
like such a small milestone where you're like, I just want to so like, that's such a good one. Like, I saw that video and I was just like, yes, because I remember that moment. Cause like, even like July and February, the MBEs were terrible. Like, I kept getting tricked. I kept falling for
Yeah.
all their traps. So, when I saw yours, I was like,
I'm
"Yes, girl. Yes, celebrate that because I
I
remember
was
it, and
so
it's such a
happy. It
small
was
one."
I'm it's funny because we're kinda like the opposite because my struggle is the MBE.
It's been pretty easy
Yeah.
to, detach my own journey from someone else's and be, genuinely
Mhm.
happy for them. When I found out
Yeah.
my 2 besties that they passed in the first try, I went to Costco, I bought, I don't know, hundreds of dollars of liquor, and we had no business having that much, a bunch of muffins, I, hit up the liquor store, Costco's liquor
Yeah.
aisle. bakery aisle, fruit aisle, and I like drove to Chicago to celebrate with them because it's like, you
That's
only get
awesome.
these like little,
Yeah.
yeah, you only get these milestones so
Yeah.
often in your career. Even just sitting for the bar is like it's not an easy feat to get to that
Yeah.
space, to get to that spot. So I'm still
Mhm.
like, I don't know, I haven't really talked about it on my own TikTok, but I just
Mhm.
feel like it's hard for me to figure out how to articulate because of I do get like severely disappointed. I do get like, these looming questions of like, well, everyone else is moving on and I
Yeah.
graduated in
Yeah.
2025, but I don't
They're
know. I
gonna
feel
be an
like
attorney
it's,
for a whole year now. Like, that made me I was so
yeah,
happy for them, but I was like, "Dang." But then someone made a really good point, and they were like, "You're just rushing to work." You know? Like, you're and I was like,
that's
"That's
literally
true."
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Like, it would be nice, I don't know.
I know. It's like, I wouldn't hate working. I would like working over studying, but
Yeah.
yeah, especially since like I found like my dream area of law. Like I absolutely love
Oh,
it.
what
I
is it?
feel so it's in land use. It's municipal law. So the firm that I work for, or that I work not currently, like I kind of like stepped back, but they're super super supportive. But after the bar, like the firm that I work for is they like represent townships, they represent cities and counties, and they're kind of like the legal counsel for these like small public entities. So a lot of it has to do with like zoning ordinances or, like basically these local regulations, like it's zoning ordinances, police power ordinances. It sounds like crazy boring to an average normal person, but I like absolutely love it. I felt like had my husband had to tell me like, okay, well, like he's an IP, so like I'm like, hey, yours
Which
is
is
boring,
crazy.
mine is cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
I'm like that's for smart bored people. Mine is for like kind of normal. And he's just like, no, it's boring for everyone. I'm like, oh darn. I'm like, I just love it so much. It's for me, it's like local government structure, like
Mhm.
local government, like how the legislative councils, like how to me it's more important. I mean, obviously the federal is important too, but I love seeing like the local level, like local governments because of how it does affect our day to day. So
Yeah.
city councils and stuff like that, mayors, like Spencer Pratt when he was running for mayor, I had a lot of things to say. I was just like, what? Oh, I was like, huh, that's confusing. I was just like, interesting, because like I work with mayors, I work with city councils, so it's like a lot of work goes into it. You kind of want, someone with like a lot of experience for these things, but yeah, no, I love it, and luckily, like they've been super super supportive, so they were kind of open to me being just determined to pass it. Kind of they were
Mhm.
just like, we're thrilled that you're still going to go for it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Like at this
Yeah.
point, we've come too far. So, yeah.
Really proud
So
of you.
it was too,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, thank you. It's
Yeah.
hard, but it's
Yeah.
not the end. And it's like this hard for a reason. So at least like being as close as it sounds like we both are, it's like it doesn't feel
Mhm.
impossible. Like we're so close, and it's like so within reach. So
Yeah. I will say, like, it has been hard to do part prep again. Like, I feel like the first time I studied, I was so diligent. I was like, "I must do this all day, every day." And now I'm like, "Oh, I have to go do this. I really don't want to." Like, kinda getting myself motivated takes me a lot longer. I don't know if you feel the same way or how that's
yeah.
been for you.
It's been rough. Girl, it's been so rough. Like I had to stop tracking
Yeah.
my time. I was tracking my time like billables, basically kind of billing to each. I used Clockify. A weirdo. Like I'll be late for some things, but then I'll know exactly how much time I spend on something else. Anyway, it's so odd, but I
That's
had to
awesome.
stop for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was getting in my head. I was like peeling myself like out of off the couch to try to like find any type of motivation to get back into it. Like, but the
Yeah.
good news is that I talked to my tutor about it and I said, like, I think I'm having a hard time staying focused. I feel a little lost. I feel like everything looks familiar. I'm not learning anything, like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
just felt like I was kind of like just spinning my wheels. And she basically
Yeah.
told me that, like, as a retaker, it's going to work that way.
Mhm.
She was basically saying, like, you're going to feel like you're reviewing. We went through the NCBE has a list for MEEs and MBEs that are going to be tested. So we went through that list and I basically had to like rank, you know, things that I knew like pretty well off that I could like type anything on and like mark the ones I didn't. So that kind of gave me like a starting point of like how to re-review because like a lot of it was like contract remedies or, like evidence hearsay stuff that like looked familiar, but I couldn't like I couldn't say a rule statement right now at the time, like a couple weeks,
Yeah.
like at this point a month ago. So even just doing that was a good way to start. But I'm taking weekends off, which is, like, the first
Yes.
time
Yeah.
in forever, so it's like, I don't hate it, but it's like but then
Yeah.
I find myself filling my weekends with stuff that I don't do during the week, so it was like, like,
Yeah.
kind of like I ended up having, like, a crazy busy weekend for some odd reason, and it's just like I'm exhausted in another way, so now it's like going into this weekend, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna spend Sunday actually relaxing, like, watching a show, turning my brain off," but yeah, no, you're not alone. And now that you have my
Yeah.
number, girl, text me. Text me if you're
Yeah.
struggling because I
Yeah.
definitely am. It's just
There's
rough.
it's so it's just a lot, but, like, I'm really grateful for the community on TikTok, honestly, because you can find some of the sweetest people. Like, whenever I posted I don't know if you saw it, but, my results, like, I filmed in real time, um and finding out that I didn't pass, and then I put my phone on do not disturb after I posted it. And the amount of people that like DM'd me, messaged me, even like bigger influencers were like, "Girl, I had to retake. You got this. Like, don't give up." And it was just so kind. But I will say I didn't know for sure whether you had passed or not because you mentioned you didn't talk about it, and I'm like, I didn't see anything that like indicated too much.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
have
didn't know how
I
you were
have not
feeling.
I d I did not I was not interested in making that into content for some odd reason.
Yeah,
I think I was a little protective over it because I didn't
yeah.
feel my best. I didn't feel confident going into the exam at all, and I knew that if I did pass, it'd be, like, scraping by. Honestly, both both times. I'm not gonna lie. I hate this stuff. I'm not the best test taker. I have been terrible
Yeah,
at, like, multiple choice my entire life, and this is multiple choice
yeah,
on steroids that have morphed into
yeah,
it's like Rick and Morty steroid, like, where it's, like, out of
yeah,
control. Like, it's just so bad,
yeah,
this stupid exam. But no, yeah, I was, like, really worried. I don't know why.
yeah.
I didn't wanna be judged. I also was, like, worried about, like, the client-facing aspect where I wasn't sure
Oh,
if
yeah,
my client had, like my clients are the clients that I, have grown to be, like, really fond of, they're not young, so there's no way,
yeah,
like, their grandkids have kids, so it's, like, kind of
yeah,
like I wasn't worried that they were gonna be like, "Are you poly law girl, Selita, blah, blah, blah," so I knew that that wasn't gonna happen, but I was kinda just worried about, like, the perception it would give other
mhm,
people of the firm that I've, like, grown to really love, so I kind of I still have to, like, talk about it. I think when I posted a video, like, last week about just feeling like I've being left behind, I can't bel so many people have DM'd me too, like, they were kind of just like,
yeah.
"Hey, if you need anything, if you" someone was like, "If you need me to talk you through any answers, like, let me know," or they're
Aw.
like, "If you need help working on anything, let me know," and I'm just like, "You guys," like, it's just, like, something that started off as, like, a little video here, video there, making fun of how terrible life was in law school, like, turned into, like,
Yeah,
this pretty big community of, like,
yeah,
a lot more retakers than I thought. Now it's
yeah,
like I find myself, like, wanting ever since last week, like, now I wanna message people and be like, "Hey, you're not alone." Like, this
yeah,
is completely normal. It's also, like, no indication of how good of a lawyer you're going to be. I've had
Yeah.
so many people tell me, like, partners at my firm, they're like, "You're a great lawyer. You just need to pass this damn exam." Like, they're like,
Yeah.
you're a good lawyer. You know what you're doing. You're passionate about this area of law. You just need to pass this exam." So
Yeah.
even then it's kind of like a, let me take a small step back so I can,
Yeah.
just kind of devote my full time to this to get it like finally behind me because
Yeah.
but girl, you could text me. I'm saving your
Yeah.
number. You don't have to.
Yes.
If you're feeling like I don't want to, text me. I am
Yeah.
100% going to be in agreement. I'm like
Yeah.
agreeing with you. I just know it.
I've gotten so bored on this that I have subjected myself to making Canva. I was like, I will not make a flashcard. I don't want
I
to.
love that. I honestly saw that and I was like, okay, slay. Because if I could make a cute little printout, let me see. What have I done? I've been doing. It's like here's one of them. It's like
Yeah.
all these colors. Now there's color. Like the black and white days are gone. I need some
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah. I even got to the point where and I was like, this is so much better. It's because I cannot keep doing this. Like
Yeah,
I will
honestly,
go
if it works,
crazy. Yeah.
literally. Especially since it's 7 weeks away, which I remember being in this position last year and being like, oh my gosh, that's not a lot of time. I don't have anything memorized. But now it's like 7 weeks. If you're just
I got time.
consistent, you're
Yeah.
like, that's so much time. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You're like, that's a lot of time. So yeah, no, we've got time. I love the creativity. And that actually did like inspire. I'm gonna like draw my own pictures just so I could like remember
Yeah.
and actually like stick in my brain because you're right. It gets mundane. It's been
Yeah.
mundane since the get-go, as especially since like I was I went back, I was working, I was like billing 10 to 12 hours, not 12. I think 12 was like the biggest on the higher end, 12 to 14.
Yeah.
But I was like billing a lot
Mhm.
up until I just stopped basically working for up until February. I was billing like full time, like going to meetings maybe like once or twice a week. These meetings are in the evening. I was like
That's
studying
a
in the morning,
lot.
going. It was bad. I was like studying in the morning, studying after work. I was studying on the weekends. Like it's not that intense this time. Like I'm kind of letting
Yeah.
myself just like review it and then like work on stuff that I know will help me get points. Like my tutor's been so good about that. She's been like, let's go over this essay. Why'd you do this? She's like, still data dump. I'm like, but I want to. It's just like, yeah, we get that you want to tell the graders that you're smart, but this rule has nothing to do with it. You're not going to get points. And I'm like, okay,
Oh.
okay, I know. So yeah, it's been ups and downs, but I totally know what you're going through. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's
No,
also not
it's
easy to
not.
not give up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like, but it's the last thing in my way, you know? I think that's what's so frustrating because I was like, finally, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to make money. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And then I'm like,
Yeah,
this is so lame.
yeah.
What
It
do
was
you
like
mean?
a screech, like.
Yeah,
I
that
know
was
exactly
the
what you mean.
worst. Because my boyfriend, he works in big law and I don't know how you were billing that much. That's insane. That's why I was looking at you like, you billed 12 hours and you still studied? Because, like, you
Yeah,
work more
that
than
was me.
that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's like a far mean. Like it was like that was 1 day a week where it was like an 11 to 12 hour day. So it wasn't like an easy like, oh, I'm kind of working, kind of everyone else like study during lunch at work. It's like there's no lunch at work. Like I'm working, I'm eating, stuffing my face as I'm finishing something that I was supposed to get out at like 11. So it was
Yeah.
kind of always playing catch up. So yeah, my husband is constantly working and even he's kind of the same way where he's like, having all this time, especially during the summer, isn't the worst thing. And I'm like, yeah, it is because no one wants to be studying for the bar. I was like,
No.
don't try to be jealous of me. I was like,
It's not working.
yeah,
I
that's
know. I'm like,
right.
I would have rather just passed. Like, you know, let's
Yeah.
trade. No I'm kidding.
No,
What kind of law
literally.
does he do? Oh, you
He
said
does
IP, right?
patents.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah, yeah. Oh,
So he
that's
does
so cool.
patents like prep, yeah. Prep and pros. Like he basically just writes patents. And it's
Oh
fun, but
gosh.
like I've had to like gain some background knowledge. We've been together at this point for like 9 years. So we've been
Oh
together for a long
wow.
time. And even
Yeah.
then, it's like I've gained like background knowledge of what these words mean. And I know, like, to a normal person, yeah, sure, like actuate, that means you're starting. So, like stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's like when he talks about stuff, I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. Just like, okay, cool, cool, cool. I was like, how could they deny that? Like after like putting together like that one meme, I'm just like trying to do all this like
Yeah.
random connections game. So yeah, he's really, really smart. So he's got a different kind of brain. So he was like, I think just kind of he was always like he always picked stuff up right away. So even he like him working all the time was just like, like come February, he's like, "Are you good? Like, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Everything's fine." My hair is like
Yeah.
fried because I'm like straightening it so much. I'm like, "Everything's fine. Don't knock off this like groove I've got."
Yeah.
So yeah,
Don't mess with my notes.
no, literally.
So, I bet that's just it's interesting being with a partner who did pass and is practicing. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that too?
Yeah, it does. It feels like for me, it's always seemed like it's just on that other side. Like I just have
Yeah,
to take one more sign up for classes, this time.
yeah,
Then I just have to get through. So it's always like to me, like he's so close, like kind of doing his own thing, living his passion and everything. But it's also been kind of eye opening because he's helped me review for like con law and 1L property, like even now for the
no,
bar. Yeah, he was like, I don't really do this a ton. Like I kind of, for him is kind of like seeing someone like fresh out of school, kind of super passionate about something that otherwise would be really boring to some people. But having him see like a different perspective, I think we've kind of inspired each other to, like he wants to work on more clients that he's actually interested in. Like I don't want to be in big law if it's not land use or municipal law, like it's kind of like
yeah,
it's not worth a big law paycheck for me if I my heart's not in it. And for him, he's kind of trying to find
mhm,
more heart in like his hobbies now that he's just like, man, I've like kind of lost, a spark, a drive for certain things. So we've been helping him get more into like stuff he could do outside, like fishing and kayaking and stuff like that. So just trying to
yeah,
find this like balance to help, kind of create another further picture behind the desk, like or like a,
yeah,
a rounder life, I think. So yeah, it's
yeah,
been interesting. It's like I don't know if you get this, but I kind of just see them, and just kind of wish, I'm like, man, I wish I could just be going to work. I wish I could just be, like just doing what I know that I like doing. But now it's kind of like,
yeah.
guess I'll review property or like, I guess I'll review Simpro. Like, it's just like, no.
That's so fun. No, I'm grateful that, like, he does work in big law, so he's always busy, so it's not like he's living life too much, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm studying, he's working, he's like, "I got a bill," you know?
Yeah.
So I'm
Especially like
like,
those
"Okay."
first 3 years. It's like work, 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 work.
Yeah, and that makes me feel I'm like, "Okay, you're not having too much fun," you know? Like, you're
Yeah.
not like, "Oh, what do I do Saturday and Sunday? It's all free," you know?
Yeah.
I think I would be really jealous at that point.
No, literally.
But he's been great since he's gone through it. I don't cook, thank God, because he knows,
Oh,
like, if I have one more thing on my plate to do, I'm done. Like,
yeah.
I can't do it. Um,
Yeah.
so he covers like, it's kinda like he knows also what I'm getting, like, really, really overwhelmed with studying, or that I just need to take a break, and it's hard for me to, like, make once I finally get in the groove and I get myself out of, like, I like how you mentioned you peel yourself out off the couch. Once I'm finally peeling myself off the couch and I sit down, I can sometimes just go, you know? And
Yeah.
having someone know, like, "Okay, no, you can't be in the house for 3 days straight, you need to leave the house, you know? Like, you know?
That's so real. That is or,
Yeah.
like, I haven't left, like, in days and days, and to have someone else
Yeah.
also like, "Okay, let's go touch grass, breathe in some fresh air." That's so
Yeah.
nice.
No, I love it. It sounds crazy, but, like, I feel like it's so easy, especially with how hot it is right now. Like, I'm not trying to go outside anyways, but it's easy to,
I know
like,
what you mean.
stay. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it feels different, like, even compared to studying for the February, like,
Mhm.
I think I also haven't been talking about it because, like, it kind of hits me like, the emotions hit me very differently this time where, like,
Mhm.
come I think it was finally around the end like, after Thanksgiving is when it kinda hit me finally for the July bar result. And then I,
Mhm.
like, kind of spiraled, like, didn't get out of bed for a week. I was, like, kinda I didn't eat like, I didn't really eat anything for I was kind of, like, just
Yeah.
wanting to disappear, kind of just feeling pretty terrible. And then
Yeah.
after that, I got through it and just it was like, "Alright, that week was terrible. Who was she?" And then I was like, "Mask on, super tight, let's go." Like, I was like, "Straight in the
Yeah.
hair, gotta go." Like, it kind of like a
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam to keep myself, a little bit more distracted and occupied. This time it's like I found out and I like did not get out of bed. And I found out on a
Mm.
Friday, didn't get out of bed until like 10:30 p.m. Saturday. And my husband had like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm." He was like, "Are you
Yeah.
hungry?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "What about Taco Bell?" And I was like, "Actually," I was like, "That sounds
How did
good
you
all the
know?
time." I was like, "I'm pretty hungry. I'm so gone." Like, I was like, "That's so sweet." So, even that, I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I can't hide this as much." So, I do find myself
Yeah.
just getting randomly especially it's gotten easier now, but I was, like, randomly getting really emotional about it. I find myself
Yeah.
crying in my sleep and stuff like that. So, it's kind of like a you can't hide it for too long, like, the sooner that you kinda confront it, even if you
Yeah.
dread it, it's like, finally being able to even say, like, "I do not wanna study today," is kind of like a huge step
Mhm.
because it was
Yeah.
avoidance for a long time, so even now it's
Yeah.
like, I don't wanna cook dinner because 'cause I'm begging for a distraction, like, if I
Yeah.
clean the house, I'm begging for a distraction, so it's kind of like a
Yeah.
having to catch myself.
Yeah.
So, even if I don't want to, like, actively study, I'll just, like, read through an essay, color code it. So it's like question 1
Yeah.
is red, question 2 is orange, question 3 is yellow, stuff like that. And that
Yeah.
feels like I'm kind of seeing an improve I don't know, like, there's, like,
Yeah.
no way to measure or, quantify, like, if you're doing objectively better or worse, but we're not first time takers. So
Yeah.
our base level is a lot it's a lot more different than someone who's studying for the
Yeah.
first time. So
Which feels nice to, like, go into it and have a good foundation, I feel like, and I'm like, "Okay, I just have to tweak and I need to learn a few more things and, like, I'll get there," it's just gonna take a little bit. But,
yeah.
I also think I use TikTok a lot to make myself study because I'm like, "How am I gonna post
Huh.
that I studied today? Everyone's gonna know I did it."
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, peer pressure myself. Not that anyone's, like, messaging, like, "I saw you didn't do it yesterday," But, like, for my brain, I'm like, "Okay, I have to, like, that's the only way I can put out content today?" So, like,
Oh, I
gaslight
love
myself.
that. I love that. I do see, like, that you're on live, and I'm like, "You're just that's so brave." But, like,
It's hard.
I would be too nervous. I'd be too nervous to be on live. I feel like everyone would come and, like, bombard me with questions, but I don't even know.
No, it's funny because like, I'll do my MBE questions, and then everyone like, sometimes it'll be, like, a whole debate on what the right answer is, and then everyone's wrong. And I'm like, "That's
Wow.
crazy." Yeah, we've had
Are
that a
they, like,
couple
law
times.
students?
Yeah, there are
Oh,
people studying for
well
the bar too, yeah.
oh, nice. Okay, well, I'll have to tune in, especially if I'm,
Yeah.
like, low key trying to put off studying.
That's what some people are like, "Oh, from my favorite television show," and it's just they'll sit there and listen because 'cause I'll read the fact pattern, and then I'll answer the multiple choice question. And then sometimes I'm right and I'm getting better.
Mm.
I also do that because I need to read to learn. Um,
Mhm.
it's the only way because I can't visualize. So it actually helps me not be bored while I read the questions and stuff.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
really just like my own little life hack of with my ADHD.
I love that. It's like 2 birds, 1
It's
stone. Content or
yeah.
3, content, community, and study.
Yes, yeah, it's perfect. I did want to ask you, what advice would you give someone who's preparing for the bar exam?
I would say listen to yourself. Listen to yourself and remember how you learn. That's the most important thing. Everyone's going to say everyone's going to be looking like they're doing the same thing, mostly due to the sheer fact that there's not a ton of bar prep companies. It's like good to see other ones coming up, but for the most part, everyone's going to be doing like one of 3 programs. So I think a lot of the time people get mixed up that they have to be doing what other people are doing because they're on the same program. My advice would
Hmm.
be just do what works with you. Like stick with what
Yeah.
works with you, even if it doesn't look like what other people are doing,
Hmm.
because that'll help you learn. That'll help you stop from getting burnt out. That'll help you kind of retain a ton of material. So I
Yeah.
wish I did that from the get go. Now I'm kind of finally I did it more so for the February exam, and now I'm kind of like going back to basics with myself for this, and it feels a lot better. So that would be my advice. Stick with what works for you. Don't try to go with what other people are doing because you feel pressured. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. I absolutely love talking to you. And thank you so much for meeting with me and taking time out of your day and your bar prep setting and working, right? All the things just to come out here and let people know what your experience was like.
awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I've never been invited to be on a podcast. I have had my own podcast and it's not easy. So I love that you're doing this and I will yap with you anytime you need. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. That is it for today's episode. Again, I'm Stephanie Ponzanelli, and this is Legally Ponzanelli. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Be sure to check out the links in our show notes where you can find our sponsor, Belmonte, this month's guest gift provider, Las Comadres Mail Club, and our Kaplan Bar Prep discount code, Pass with Pons, to save an additional $100 off your bar prep course. You'll also find links to all of our social media platforms. We'd love for you to follow along and be part of our community. And because your girl is currently studying for the bar exam, you'll also find my Amazon wish list in the show notes. If you'd like to support me with a little study session surprise, that's exactly where you can find it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future guests, email me at legallyponzanelli@gmail.com. And if you're a law graduate who wants to share your story and journey to becoming an attorney, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legally Ponzanelli.